Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. We are back again. Another week, another Sunday, another episode of Sunday Light. Peace and good morning. Happy Soulful Sunday. Solid and Soulful Sunday. All right. It's day for the soul. It's day all around the world. Families are gathering for food. People are coming together for religious services, church, mosque, synagogue, Buddhist, right? Buddhist centers and temples and all of the things, man. Sundays are beautiful days. Sundays are the day that the sun rises, the day that the sun peaks, right? And the week. It is Sunday, man. It's a day, as they say, that the Lord has made, right? It's the day, is every day is the day that the Lord has made, right? But today is Sunday, man, beginning of a new week, right? Beginning of a new week, new cycle, right? Finishing off, as my brother Blue Pill and Red Pill say, the strong end, right? Not a weak end. There's no time to be weak, right? It is a strong end, right? The end of the strong, I guess. I don't know. But we are back again. Another Sunday, another episode of Sunday Light. Happy, solid, and soulful Sunday. Morning love, peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, she is right here in the studio, her fine self. She is the reason that the birds sing, and she is the reason that the sun rises and the moon shines and the people dance down the streets, even when they're blind. Oh, yeah. She got that. Ooh, we. That get right. Somebody said, marry her. I said, I am. Don't worry about it. You ain't got no chance. You got no chance, player. Yeah. It's me and mine. But yes, Sunday. So today we are going to talk about the fragility of life and why it is imperative that we take good care of our God-given vessel, our body, our mind, our heart, our spirits, right? But this body is God's vessel. This body at some point is going to disintegrate. At some point it is going to decompose, right? Our consciousness, of course, will live forever. Our spirit will live eternally in the spirit of all things that are living. Our consciousness will exist in the realm of eternal consciousness, of great consciousness. I like to think that God, right, the concept of God is all consciousness combined, right? It's all thoughts, all visions, all imagination, all power combined in one entity, which is the entity that we experience, life, right? I don't think there's no right, mystical, magical thing in the sky other than the heavens and the birds and the bees and all of those things. But yeah, the fragility of life, man. Life is a fragile thing. It happens so quickly, right? Things change, snap of a finger, right? Blink of an eye, everything could change, everything could be different. And so we gotta really take care of this body, man, and really understand how fragile life is. And so before we get into that, right, let us burn some sage. Let us burn some sage. Get some sage burning, man. Do a prayer. Right. Not only did I hurt myself this week, right, which is an example of the fragility of life. Last week, rather, less than a week ago. It was all good just a week ago, literally. I also lost two people who I knew and loved and cared about. Right, two people who are younger than me. Two people who I wasn't the closest to, but their closest people are shocked at their transition. One young brother, 35, kidney failure, alcohol every day, all right, not taking care of himself adequately, right, alcohol, bad diet, bad sleep, right, all of the things, right, not enough sunlight, not enough exercise. And then sister, I think about 38, 39, something like that, close to 40, but definitely younger than me. Still don't know her cause of transition, but I do know that the people she worked with and some of her close friends who I knew are shocked. And so it was something sudden, right? Something that, at least her closest friends, one of her best friends, didn't know about, right? She's extremely shocked and brokenhearted and distraught. And so I want to pray for those spirits, for those souls of everyone, specifically my friends, My friends who are younger than me, I pray for their spirits, that their spirits find peace, and that their spirits and that their consciousness show themselves to their family and their friends who are left behind and guide them to a more healthier, holistic lifestyle. Right. One thing is for sure is that we are all going to transition, but we can have a long life, and of course that is only in the will of the divine. Right. It's not something that we can control. No one knows when they are going to expire. No one knows when their time is going to come to leave this physical realm. And one thing we do know is that no matter how hard you try, if it is your time, you're gonna go. And no matter how much destruction you cause your body, and if it's not your time to go, you won't go. Right? There have been miracles where people have been shot point blank range, where people have been in accidents that would normally kill someone, and they've lived. And there's been times when someone would, let's say, shot in the arm, which arm shots doesn't really kill anyone, but bullet travels and they die. And yeah, things happen, and so it's not something that we can control, not something we have full control over, but we can give ourselves better chances by taking better care of our bodies, by taking better care of our minds. And so my prayer is that everyone who is alive on this planet right now is that we are guided, we have the guidance, we have the wisdom to live optimally, and we strive to attain optimal health and to put ourselves in a position to live as long as humanly possible, for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, for our children, for our parents. 35, 38, young. But I'm reminded in this season, I'm reminded at this time is something I read in the back of an obituary years ago. God was walking through the garden looking for the perfect flower and plucked you. And that's the wisdom that I carry, that I keep in my heart when beloveds, especially those younger than me, transition. It's that God was looking for the perfect flower for a purpose greater than we may understand. Just as if you pick a flower for your beloved, it is to make your loved one happy, it is to put a smile on their face, to let them know that they're loved. However, the flower begins to die, and the rest of the flowers, the family, it becomes destroyed. It's a sudden loss. Same thing, same mindset. And I pray that we all just begin to love ourselves, begin to honor ourselves, begin to care for our bodies as best as possible, because we only get one. Although we are in the era, although we are in the age of advanced technology and people getting body work done and things like that, we truly only get one body. And as much money as you could possibly make, if there is an illness that is severe, there is no amount of money that can save you. People have tried and people have failed. So my prayer on this Sunday is that the divine speaks to all of us, wakes us up to our full potential, puts us on a path to live fully, to live long, prosperous lives. May we all live long and prosper. May those who are ill be healed. May they receive the guidance and have the courage and the discipline to follow the healing path, the path that doesn't promise but gives a better shot at a long life, a long and fulfilled life. And I pray that those doing the healing work reach more people. I pray that our voice grows and spreads wider. I pray that our voice grows and spreads wider, reaches further, so that those who need our guidance, those who need our wisdom, those who need our support in getting healthier and taking their power back, that we meet. We meet, and the resources are available for folks to take advantage of these healing tools. That is my prayer, my prayers this morning. Okay. So, as I mentioned, all right, Fly Nook, what's going on? What's going on? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. As I mentioned, two young people, man, two people who will be considered young not only by me but by those older, right? They consider us young. My brother John Johnson last week on the call, he said, "Young brother, right? Young brothers like you," and I realized that at 41, right, I can still be considered young to those who are, of course, much older. And so those who are younger, 35, 38, 39, are young. And again, I'll never forget what Brother Harvey said. He said he wished people at 60 and 70 knew how young they still were, right? And he's pushing 81. We have our youth, right? A lot of us, we still have our youth. We still have vitality, right? And that's not always promised because we know people, we see people. There may be some people in our lives, and maybe even us, even me at some point, right? Like, didn't have good health. All right. Again, clearly right now, ankle is a little jacked up, and there's been times before when, back was jacked up and foot was jacked up and head space and heart space was jacked up and life was fragile. I was almost out of here, right? You guys know the story. I've been shot, right? Could have been killed. Went to prison for a shooting. It could have been way worse. Someone could have died. And life wouldn't be what it is right now, right? If at all. Right? If I'm dead, is no me right now. And if I'm in prison, my life is completely different. And who's to say I'm still alive? If I go to prison at 19, 20 years old, right? For 30 years, 20 years, right? No one knows. But we know that life changes. It happens in an instant, right? Life is created in an instant, right? Like literally an instant, right? Little bit of sperm, egg attracts like that. Spark, life is there. It exists because life always exists, right? And just as a blessing, as life being created can happen in the blink of an eye, in a split second, life can be lost just that fast. We again, some of us have seen it, some of us have nearly experienced it, right? We've experienced our lives changing in an instant, but we may have seen some folks. We may have been witness to some things where everything is all good, and then a few moments later, everything is not, right? Everything is not. Car accidents, slip and falls, right? Heart attacks, choking, right? Gunshots, right? All of the things, heart just stopping, right? Seizures, all of the reasons. We've seen the shows, 1,000 Ways to Die. There was, I don't know how many seasons of that. Is 16, 17 seasons, something like that, 20 seasons. It's a lot of ways to die. So this life is extremely fragile. And even if you are taking the best care of your life, even if you are in the best of health, even if you are in the best of health, eating all of the right foods, doing all of the exercise, doing all of the meditation, have the beautiful relationships, right? Doing all of the things, getting the adequate sunlight, the diet is perfect. You doing all of the things, you can still slip and fall. You could choke on a chickpea. Literally, you could choke on a chickpea, right? Like a million things can happen in your life at peak health could still be cut short. Or it could just end, right? Because short is long or short is kind of subjective, right? I like to say that even if we live to be 1,000 years old, if one person lived 1,001, they would say that their beloved left too soon, right? We as humans, we are a little bit selfish in that way. We want more, which is not a bad thing, right? We want more time on earth, more time with our loved ones. We want more time enjoying life. We want more. And again, it's not a bad thing at all. But we have to understand that in order to have that more, although there's things we cannot control, right? It is beyond our control when our heart stops, right? But we can do things to give ourselves a better chance at a longer life, right? We can take better care of our vessel, right? We do know there was an article that I came across a few weeks ago. It said that the stronger you are, right, the stronger the body is, right? So the healthier you are, the stronger the body is, the harder it is to kill you. the harder it is for disease to kill you, the harder it is for a certain, certain types of accidents or things to kill you, right? And so you can put yourself in a better position, right? There have been, for example, there have been people who, right, spoke about the young brother, Brashan, right? That was his name. That is his name. Spoke about Brashan, our beloved from Queensbridge, 35 years old, transition, alcohol, kidney failure, right? There are stories, and there are people that I know personally who they were shot and they died. And the doctor said that if they didn't have so much alcohol in their system, they would have lived. If they did not have so much alcohol in their system, they would have lived. The blood being thinned by alcohol. Lost more blood because of the alcohol. So gunshot, person dies, but alcohol. So the gunshot would not have killed them if they weren't drinking so much alcohol. Right? That's one thing we have in the hood. My sister and I were talking about yesterday is, why do some of us, and I was one of them, we don't know how to, right? Some of us have really addictive personalities. We don't know how to have one drink or two drinks. We got to drink until we're drunk. We got to drink until we're like, what's the word? Intoxicated, right? Or incapacitated. No, incapacitated is like dead, right? Like we're not dead, but we drink to the point where we're not good. We're not coherent, right? We're off balance, right? Again, we drink to the point where we're drunk, where we're not aware of our reality. We're not aware of what's going on. You see people drinking and falling and stumbling and passing out. We saw the guy a week ago, 2 weeks ago, sleep in the park, laid flat, right? Like we saw the other guy sleep, pants half down, poop all over himself. That's bad. So when something happens, when you're that drunk, and you have an accident or you have some type of thing that causes blood or anything, the chances of you dying are higher. I'm telling you, I know people who have been shot, and the doctor said they didn't have so much alcohol in their system, they would have lived. I think I know at least 2 or 3 people that I could think of off the top of my head that that's happened to, out of the people that I know that have been murdered. Gunshot. Car accident, right? Car accident. This isn't a bad car accident. People drunk driving, alcohol, injury, right? Injury, but the alcohol, too much alcohol. Right. And so again, we can't control walking across the street and the car freaking speeds through the light and hit you. You can't control that. And you can have no alcohol and still die, of course. Right? Hit your head, freaking trauma, head trauma, you could die, of course. Again, you can choke on a chickpea. It's very real. I say it jokingly, but it's very real because everything can be perfect. You could be in perfect health and choke on a chickpea. But I promise you, so many of the deaths that so many young people who lose their lives are from preventable causes. Whether it's food related, right? Food related cause, heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, right? And even if food is not causing the cancer because there are toxic chemicals and so many products that cause cancer. So even if the food causing cancer, the food could be the cure. The food could be the medicine. The food is the medicine. And so if, let's say, you're using toxic chemicals that cause the cancer, it's not your food that caused the cancer, but you're not eating the proper food, you're not giving yourself the better chance to survive. You're not giving yourself the better chance to fight off the virus, right? And I really want us, right, again, me at 41 years old, someone who has overcome some injuries, right? Some pretty serious injuries, herniated disc and things like that. But more importantly than the physical injuries, it was the mental anguish, right? In the toxic heart that I've been able to heal from. Those of us who have overcome some hardships in our lives, physical hardships, mental and emotional hardships, we have to be the best examples that we possibly can be. And we have to teach, we have to share, we have to lead people to better quality of life. And of course, no one could force anyone to do anything, right? And you could like be in the best shape possible and you could have the best like wisdom possible, but if you don't know how to communicate it, right, or if you're in a space where people don't want to hear it, then it's null and void. But people always want good information. It's how you deliver it, because people want to be healthier. A lot of people don't think it's possible. A lot of people think that, you're going to die anyway, so I might as well just, like enjoy this thing, enjoy this bad food, enjoy this alcohol, enjoy this toxic lifestyle, because I'm going to die anyway. And we have to, right, figure out better ways, more creative ways to help people. Yes, you are going to transition anyway, but why not live optimally, right? Why not live optimally? And that's about a decade ago, I started like using that concept, optimal living, optimal health, right? When I understood that it was possible for me. It was possible for me. It's possible for people who come from where I come from. Not just like geographically, demographically, but come from the pain I come from, family I come from, right? Like father died of cancer, grandfather cancer, diabetes, right? Let's say, quote unquote, cancer ran in my family. And as they say, until it ran into me, right? Change the diet, right? Like 41 years old, I think, and I actually want to see if I can ask my family members this. I think I have the most perfect blood pressure. I don't know what my other family members' blood pressure is, but I know at the hospital, right, wee hours of this morning, take my blood pressure. I'm like, it's pretty perfect, like it's pretty doggone perfect, right? And that's someone who deals with stress, right, who deals with highly stressful situations, right? I'm dealing right now with a highly stressful situation some of you guys know about for years, right? A little more intense right now. But the practice, meditation, the diet, right? Veganism, plant-based, right? Regularly fasting, right? A lot of water, fruits, watery fruits, right? Things like that. Like, so stressful situation, stressful environment, right? I'm in the city, it's sirens. I live freaking few blocks from the freaking hospital, few blocks from a fire department, few blocks from a police station. So it's sirens all the time where I live. Stressful, right? Stressful. Just hearing the sirens causes stress, can raise your blood pressure. Right, dealing with family stuff raises your blood pressure. My blood pressure has been perfect for years. Never forget, right? First time a holistic practitioner, right? A sister in New Jersey 12 years ago, right? Early on in my vegan journey, was like, yo, your blood pressure is like really freaking good, right? And now 12 years later, right, a few weeks ago at the Father's Day event in Brooklyn, sister took my blood pressure. I'm like, I want to see if you're going to say what I think you're going to say, because I had to have my blood, I mean, other than, right, like every freaking so often at the doctor, but like not consistently, and not by somebody who I think like really cares about my health, right? I'm like, let me see if, right, what I think 12 years ago from holistic, now you're a holistic person, right? What do I think? Or let me see if my blood pressure is the same, right? I've been through a lot, right? A lot of things since then. But one thing that has been consistent is my quest to attain optimal health. Say, yeah, your blood pressure is freaking perfect, right? So there's some things before I even go forward. However, at that same event, the sister pointed out that there were some brothers, right, fathers, who have children, right? There were some brothers whose blood pressure was through the roof. It was alarming. She said she had to call some of them to the side and like, yo, you gotta. And then I spoke because I remember being 11 years old and my dad passing from something that was preventable, stomach cancer. Right now, brothers are having high blood pressure. The one brother, he said he knew his blood pressure was high, so he didn't want to get it he didn't want to get it taken. He said, oh, I know my blood pressure ain't no good. You don't need to take it. She said, no, that's why you need to take it so you can see the numbers, right, and hear, right? Like we have to take our health seriously, man. Even if not for ourselves, for the people who love us. The people who we say we love. Oh yeah, I love my parents. Your parents still alive, right? I love my parents. So then don't like put yourself in a position to die and they gotta bury you because no discipline. And again, like when I remember when my dad passed, right? Most painful moment of my life. That was really sad. And then a few years later, I got really angry when I realized that cancer was preventable and reversible. So not only could you have avoided it altogether, right? Certain lifestyle, but once you developed cancer, once you realized that cancer was in your body, you could have reversed it by making certain adjustments. Years later, I was able to get over my anger, forgive my dad, understanding that he did the best he had with the knowledge he had. Right? It wasn't common knowledge back then, right? In the 90s. And then when he grew up in Georgia in the freaking 20s and 30s, it wasn't common knowledge that you could heal yourself, right? Yeah, it was always people doing it, and the information was always there, but it wasn't common knowledge. People got cancer. People thought cancer just ran in their families. People went to the doctor. People did chemo. People did a certain thing, especially in the Black community. right? People did certain things, and it's a gamble. You might live, you might die, you might beat it, you might not. As opposed to complete lifestyle change, where it's almost guaranteed that you could beat it. Stuff still happens, right? You can change your life and change your diet, and you can still fall, right? But you give yourself a better chance, right? But I became angry for a while. And so our brothers, and this is for our sisters too, understand that there's somebody who loves you, especially if you are a parent. If you are a parent, you have to just, again, you understand, going back to what I said in the beginning, life is created like that, right? All it takes, it doesn't take a lot of sex, right? It doesn't take long love-making sessions. It takes just a little bit of sperm, boom, that egg, boom, just like that. It could be a quickie. It could be a quickie with somebody who wasn't even feeling, and that life is created. Just like that. Life is created. Life also, right? It's fast, right? Like life was created, but then life was altered because now you got something, you're a woman, got something growing in your body, and your body is changing every single day. And even though 9 months feels like a long time, it goes by really fast, right? Even though there's pain and there's discomfort. And again, I'm not a woman, I've never been pregnant, so I don't really understand. But I can imagine, right? Seeing my mom pregnant, seeing my siblings pregnant, seeing ex-wife pregnant, seeing cousins pregnant, right? Like seeing women pregnant, understanding that, yes, it's a long process, it's a slow process, but it really goes by fast. The life, the body is changing every day, fast, right? And that's for a beautiful thing. That's for the baby, right? Development of life inside of a body, right? Growing family, right? But just on the flip side, it's true. And so I think the best way, right? A lot of us, we say, we thank God, right? We're thankful. Thank you to the ancestors, right? Thank the universe, right? For life, for existence. We're grateful. But how do you show that grace? How do you show that you're grateful? How do you show that thanks, right? How do you thank, quote unquote, how do you thank the Lord for your life? Do you just say it with words? Do you just show up at church? Do you show up at the mosque? Do you just show up in the places and praise and sing? Is that enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. You say your body is your temple. Your body is your temple. Your body houses the divine spirit, the divine energy, right? Your body houses your breath, right? Your breath is your life. The breath of life. The breath is life, right? Your spirit is in your body. The best way, I think the only true way to show reverence for the divine is to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Take care of yourself. Exercise, right? Meditate. Yes, pray, ask, right? But listen for the guidance. The guidance, the prophet is inside of you. All you got to do is listen. Tune into the frequency. Tune into the frequency. Come on, we know. I asked my brother a few years ago. My brother's stomach is freaking huge. Not my blood brother, but my boy, right? Stomach is freaking huge. I'm like, come on, man, you unhealthy. He said, come on, I went to the doctor. They ain't say nothing wrong. They ain't gonna say nothing wrong until like you almost dead. You gotta know that. Like you gotta know that, man. You gotta know like you're putting freaking death in your body. You know that you're not moving your bowels enough. You know that you're fat. You're out of shape. You gotta know that, man. Like we can't keep tiptoeing around this issue and being kind and being sweet and trying to be quote unquote nice. No, love is yo, bro. You not in shape. Yo, bro, you got to get healthier. All right. And for me, it was a conversation with myself, right? It was a conversation with myself years ago on the block, realizing my back was jacked up, right? Like I'm out of shape, right? And I started thinking, right, as what's going on in the world, right? Like my daughter's born, right? Actually, my daughter was coming. Like my daughter's coming. I got this young son, right? I got this young king right here. I got this young lady coming. Right now, I cannot run. I cannot put my son in my arms, put my wife at the time on my back and run a block. Few steps, not even. I'm out of shape, right? I'm a black man in America. Anything can happen at any time, right? Anything can happen at any time. I need to be able to grab my loved ones, as many as possible, and be able to run. I couldn't. Can I do my ideal now? No, but I'm on a freaking path. I know I can pick my daughter up right now, my son, and I could go with them. Right, my fiance, I gotta get stronger. Right, I gotta get stronger. But this is the process. Like we gotta get stronger. Right, we gotta get warrior ready. They said it's better to be a warrior in the garden, right, than to be a gardener in the war. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war. And so we focus on the mundane things. We focus on the things society tells us to focus on as opposed to the things that we know we need to be focused on, which is taking care of our vessel. This is our God-given vessel. We only got one, right? No matter how much surgery you think you could do, you got one natural body, man. Like, you got one natural body, right? And yeah, there are some people who do all of the heart transplants to prolong their life. Yeah, and that's possible, right? But now, listen, take care of your body. Take care of your vessel. Feed it the right foods, right? Give it adequate sunlight. Learn how to breathe properly. Watching the video last night, it said proper breathing is the single best thing that you, even better than diet, even more important than diet is proper breathing techniques, right? I often say, right, I'm not one of those people who lie, right? Try not to. I often say, right, even if you eat bad food, even if you eat the meats and the dairies and all of that stuff, if you breathe properly, if you get adequate sunlight, if you do light movement, right? Exercise, like movement don't gotta be like, you just gotta flow, keep the body flowing, right? Like movement is medicine, keep the blood flowing, keep the oxygen flowing. You see our Asian brothers and sisters, they don't do heavy freaking weightlifting and, you know, the majority, right? They don't do the heavy weightlifting. And the ones we see living to old age, the ones that are in Queensbridge right now in the park, babe, they're in Queensbridge. I guarantee you right now, Queensbridge Park, doing their Tai Chi right now. They be in front of the nursery on the hill across from the community center doing their Tai Chi. Right? It just went on record. Article just came out. I'll probably read it during my show this week. In Japan, I think Japan set the record. World record is 95,000 people over 100 years old right now. 95,000 people in Japan that are over 100 years old right now. We can't live long lives. As humans, our body is designed to live long, right? We, like, whether you believe it or not, there's stories of people living 200, 300, 400 years old, right? How do I know it's possible? Because there's people right now living to 100 and something. There's people right now 110, 109, 119 years old. There's people alive right now, 100 plus years old, right? I think the oldest human, I think, just passed, right? Or the person who was the oldest human, freaking 130 something years old a few months ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, we're designed to live long. Health is simple. Health is not complex. It's very simple things, all right? Like, don't eat till full, right? Eat more plants and vegetables than anything else. Again, even if you eat the bad stuff, eat more plants and vegetables. Have good relationships, right? Have good relationships. Good relationships. Have a purpose in life, right? Have a purpose in life. Have something that you look forward to, or something that wakes you up every day, right? Like adequate sunlight, basic light movement, walking, stretching, right? Like proper breathing. But we ain't doing none of that. We ain't doing none of that. Like a lot of us in our community, the Black community, in my community, right? And so, like, it can't just be wasted. It can't just be like, and that's it. It's like, okay, what do we do? Like, it's no way possible. It is a way, obviously, but there's no reason other than ignorance, lack of discipline, that a 35-year-old should pass from kidney failure. There's no way. That shouldn't happen. 27-year-old, a few years ago, King Shooter. 2020, King Shooter, 27 years old. Liver failure. That's insane. Alcohol. Come on, we cannot just drink every day, all day, and think that we're going to have a long life. Keep making these plans, but we're not taking care of our body, man. Like, life is fragile, y'all. Like, life is extremely fragile. Like, it happens quickly. It changes in an instant. There's no guarantee. As they say, tomorrow's not promised. It's not. Neither is the next moment. Neither is the next breath. The next breath is not promised. It's not. It's not. Like, I can do all of the things, and it can still be my time. Right? Heart can still stop. Just go to sleep and not wake up. It's very possible. It happens. Right? It happens. But how are we taking care of ourselves? Are we living a life that is putting us in an early grave, bringing us closer to death? Or are we increasing our vitality, adding years to our life, right? Are we adding years to our life or shaving years off of our life? by our lifestyle, our habits, our behaviors, right? We got to change our habits. I get it. Like, life is tough. Life is hard. A lot of us don't see a better future. We see our parents work and suffer. We see our grandparents work and suffer, struggle, still die poor, still die miserable, still die unhappy, unfulfilled, right? And they did the things. They went to school. They got the degrees. They got the jobs. They got the homes, right? And they still died miserable. They still died in pain. And so we don't think a healthy, abundant life is for us. We don't think it's for us. We don't think we can have the life that we dream of, a long life, long and prosperous life. We don't think it's possible for us because we see our loved ones die in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, right? We see even the ones who live to be 60, 70, 80, most of the times in chronic pain. They were sick for 30, 40 years. Half their life, if not more than half their life, was they sick and in pain. We see that, so it's like, F it. Like, I'm going to just live life how I see fit. I'm going to just live like based on the circumstances around me and based on what people are doing. People drinking, I drink. People are drinking, I drink. And what's so sad is that, like, I found myself, right, talking to folks, and they say, people who drink alcohol like that are trying to escape. They're trying to escape. And yeah, that's possible. Yo, V Veronica, what's going on? V Beautiful Butterfly, what's going on? Lubin X Wellness, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Right? Yeah, that happens. Right? People do drink to escape sometimes. But a lot of us also drink just because that's what we've been conditioned to think that's what you do, right? If you're a child, if you're a baby, you see your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, people in the neighborhood with the red cups and the blue cups, right? And the cups, the big cups, and they tell you can't have none of this. This is grown folk drink, right? You start gravitating towards that. As a kid, 8 years old, you may steal a sip. Or, unfortunately, like me, you may come from a Caribbean family or a family that they may give you a sip. They take a sip of this. My grandfather gave me the rest of the Budweiser. So I'm drinking at a young age. I'm not trying to escape anything. I'm just trying to do what my grandfather's doing because my grandpops is cool. And my uncles are cool. And my mom is cool. And my dad is cool. And my dad drinks Budweiser. Right? And my dad and my grandfather sit and drink a Budweiser together and they're cool. And so what do I want to do? I want to drink Budweiser. Not because I'm trying to freaking escape anything, but because this is just what we do, right? This is grown. Like, this is, well, at the youth, it's not grown folk, but like the law, right? Oh, this is grown folk. It's not for me. Let me have it. Let me do it. Let me do it, right? Come on, that's not escape. What am I trying to escape? So now as you get older, it becomes just part of your lifestyle. So yes, you can do it sometimes, right, to escape. However, it's just your conditioning. This is just what you do as you get older, as you age, people drink. So I'm drinking. And then because like now maybe I don't like my reality, I don't really like how life is, and so I find every reason to drink. We drink for the birthdays, we drink for the funerals, we drink for the baby showers, we drink for the weddings, we drink for the divorces, right? We drink for the new job, we drink because we lost the job, right? We drink because we got a big check, we drink because we ain't got no money. Right? We drink for every single thing. Alcohol is a huge part of our culture, and it is absolutely killing us. Whether is we get engaged in violence, stabbed or shot, we fall, slip and fall, and we die because there was alcohol in our system too much in our blood. We lost too much blood, or it's alcohol poisoning, cirrhosis of the liver failure, kidney failure, drunk driving, car accident. Young brother died a few years ago, 22 years old, right? 23 years old, in the freaking drunk driving. Right? Friend drunk driving, he dies. Right? Another person is freaking broke neck, they paralyzed for life. Another person, bad injury. This person's alive. They go to jail now. Now you go to jail. Because you killed. Because of, and it's not just him. They always drunk driving. I mean, he was driving, but they're always drunk in the car. Nobody's aware of us. Like, nah, we don't need to be getting in this car. We don't need to be drunk driving. I get we're gonna go to this party, we're gonna take an Uber, we're gonna find a designated driver, or we ain't gonna go, we're gonna party right where we at. Right? We gotta be smarter, guys. We have to be smarter, we have to be more conscious, we have to know that, like, who you think you are? You think you could beat this thing called death? Like, really? Really? You think you got the movies, Final Destination, right? Like, death is coming, and you could do all the things you could to try to avoid it now. Right? But it's going to come. It's going to come. So give yourself the best possible chance. Give yourself the best possible chance, man. Like that movie, Hard to Kill. It's real. The stronger you are mentally, the stronger you are physically, the stronger you are emotionally, the stronger you are spiritually, the harder it is for anything to kill you. But we ain't strong no more, man. Like, we weak. Physically, we weak. Our organs are weak, right? Our organs are weak. Like, we don't massage our organs. We don't poop enough. Like, our organs are weak, man. Like, we don't feed them the right things. We don't speak to them, right? We curse ourselves. I hate it here. Why would you say that? I get it. It's tough. And bad things are happening in the world. And there's crazy people out here, right? There are people that's not in their right minds out here. And so I get it. Like, it's bad. But it's the only where else you gonna go? Come on, man. Like, this, we got this life. So all we got is this life. One shot like this. Yes, consciously, eternally. Spiritually, energetically, eternally. Right? One with the divine, one with nature. We are always going to live in this, in that way. But in this way, in this physical way, with this physical body, this face is only going to exist one time. It's not going to, like, you may see somebody who looks like me in 100 years when I'm gone, right? That's yeah. The skin, right? It's only a certain number of variations, right, of skin and the feature placements and all of those things. So yes, people are gonna look like others. All right, what do you call them? The doppelganger, somebody in the world who looks just like you. But it's only one you. It's only one you. Your consciousness, your spirit, and this body is only gonna happen one time like this. Value this thing, man. Value this thing, because you could do all of the things right, and it could still be taken away. You could still lose it. So, how much more of a chance of losing it if you don't do the right things? If you don't take care of yourself? If you don't appreciate this body? If you don't honor this body, honor this time, honor this experience? Listen, love your life. I know that it's hard, and it's harder for some than it is for others. It's hard for all of us. Some people got a little worse than others. I know some people got it worse than me, and I know I got it worse than some others, and I know some others got it worse than some others. Some others got it better, but everybody has challenges. And so don't need to compare. No need to compare. No need to feel sorry for yourself, please. Right? Acknowledge that your life has been tough, right? But get out of the victim mindset. Get out of the wallowing in the pain, in the sadness, and the suffering, and take your life back. Please, my brothers and sisters, take your life back. Even more so if you are a parent, your children need you. Your children need you. These two friends who are younger than 40 left children behind. I know what it's like to have my father, to have my parent, who I love, who I adore, who I appreciate spending time with, who I'm looking forward to spending more time with. I know what it's like to have that parent suddenly just go. And so my father's transition wasn't so sudden. He was sick for a while. I just didn't know he was sick. And so to me, it was sudden. I didn't know he was sick. My siblings, my older siblings, and everybody else knew he was sick. He didn't want me and my nephews, he didn't want us to see him like that. He went from, they said, about 180, 190 pounds to barely 100, shell of himself, cancer, right? Lost all of the weight, became just a small shell in the bed before he transitioned. Didn't want us to see him like that. But for me, it was sudden, right? But how much sudden is it? How much more sudden is it for children who are with their parents, today, and go to sleep, go to school, go on vacation, and then find out tomorrow or later on that their parent has died? And again, the immediate is always a shock, and there's always sadness. And sometimes it's anger for some folks, but a lot of times when you learn later, right, when children learn later that their parent could have prevented or avoided, right, whatever issue there was that ended up taking their life, anger, deep anger sets in. Deep anger sets in. Deep anger sets in. I know one of my homeboys, right, his brother and my cousin died in a car accident together back in '96, right, and sad, right? Shocked, sad. But when we learned that one of the friends was drunk driving, deep anger set in to the point where people wanted to hurt the driver. Because how dare you? We got to be accountable, though. My cousin and his brother was in the car drinking as well. Right? Now that comes later on, is that you can't blame the driver. You can blame the driver, but you got to blame everybody, because everybody was in the car drunk driving. Back in the days, hip hop, right? Hip hop, they at the studio, they drinking, we at the studio, we making music, and we leaving, and we speeding on the highway, and we almost missed the exit, but we got to catch it. Drunk, perception, awareness. Try to catch the exit after you already missed it. Try to, boom, hit the pole. One goes out the back window, one goes out the front window. My cousin's head popped off. He had to sew his head back to his. Terrible. It was one of those funerals where, probably the only funeral I've been to where it was like, I think it should have been a closed casket. Head was so swole, so big. Like that's cousin Harry. Rayvon Harry Richardson. 96. June 96, right? Lost his life. All right. Life is fragile, man. Right? They had plans. They all had plans. They had plans. But as I've said many times, as I'm sure many of you have heard many times, is you plan, God laughs. So you want to make God laugh, tell God your plans. Right? In Islam, it say, man plans, but Allah is the best of planners. They had plans. But what happens is we have plans, but our lifestyle doesn't always align with our plans. We have plans to live a long life. We have plans to do these big things, but we drink and drive. We drink every day. We don't eat right. We don't exercise. We get caught up in toxic relationships, right? Toxic situations that lower our vibration, right? We don't give ourselves the best chance to live. And so we got to get committed to these plans, right? We have plans, or I like to say we have ideas. We have wishes. We wish. We hope. We have hope. Hope for some people is great. But we got to plan. And plan not just in theory, I'm going to plan to, be 80 years old and I'm planning my 80th birthday, right? I'm planning my 50th birthday. I'm planning my 40th birthday. But then I'm drinking. I'm doing everything that I might not make it to my 40th birthday. Plan your 40th birthday, right? And then live a life that's in alignment with bringing that plan into fruition. We're bringing those goals into fruition. We're making sure, doing the best you got, giving yourself the best chance possible to assure that you see that plan through, that you see those goals come to fruition. Vilma, what's going on? What's going on, mama? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. Right? Zafu says, sugar is killing us. Graceful aging, also proper stress management. As I age, I don't want to be a bitter elder. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. We're going to age. I like to say we all going to age. As long as you're alive, you are aging. But can you age gracefully? You don't have to age in chronic pain. You don't have to age in sickness. You don't have to age like that. You don't. Right? And that's if you're fortunate enough to age 35 years old. Kidney failure. Like my nephew, one of his best friends, is devastated. Talking to my sister yesterday, I think that's my nephew's closest person that he lost, as opposed to a family member, right? But he's never lost a person like that close that he was with every day. Because even the young brother who died from the drunk driving thing, he was younger than my nephew. My nephew was with him every day. He knew him, played basketball with him, but not with him every day. But this brother, Brashan, who was with my nephew every single day. My nephew's devastated. Partly also because when I spoke to him, he said, yeah, it's like a wake-up call because my nephew drinks every day. They was drinking together every day. We can listen, my brothers and sisters, those who watch this video, Sucker Free Vegan, what's going on? Those who watch this video, please understand that you cannot do whatever the hell you want to your body. You cannot do whatever the hell you want and really think confidently that you're going to continue to live, right? You can't. We got to get out of that delusion that I can do whatever I want. There's some people say, well, my grandmother, she drank, till she was 98 years old. Okay. Chances are your grandmother, number one, didn't drink till she was drunk every day. That's number one, probably, right? So let's start there. Start two, right? Number two is that's not everybody. That's your grandmother. How many people don't have that same story? So don't bank on somebody else's experience being yours. Oh, because such and such did it, that means you could do it. No, you can't. You cannot. Come on. Be smarter. Let's use our minds, please. Let's use our minds because our babies are growing up without us. Our parents are burying us. His mother, Brashan's mother, burying him. Toya's mother, Toya's parents, father, burying her. Children, more children now growing up without their parents, without one of their parents. Makes the other parents' job harder, makes the grandparents' job harder, siblings' job harder, community's job harder. Because not only do you have to like help raise a child now, you have to help raise a child that's dealing with trauma, the loss of a parent, especially when it's sudden. Especially when it's sudden in the Black community, and then we're not honest. We're not honest about what happened. Such and such died going too soon. Such and such died because they freaking played with their life. Like, I know it's tough to say. It's tough to say, but a lot of us are gambling with life. Like, a lot of us, I've gambled with life many times. I had a death wish. I didn't care if I lived or died, so I took gambles. If I die today, okay. Right? Not caring about, right? This is before being a parent. Not caring about my mother, not caring about my siblings, not caring about my aunts, my uncles, my nephews, my nieces, and all the other people who love me, who would love to see me again. Not really caring about them. I'm in pain, so if I die, I die. Real mindset. Very real mindset. Very sad. Very sad mindset. Because we can have life, and we can have a long life, and we can have a prosperous life. We can have an abundant life. We deserve it. We are worthy of it. Right? We just gotta want it. We just gotta want it. We just gotta want it. Like, I asked the question, we used to do the mentoring group at Toro College. What do you want? How bad do you want it? And what are you doing or willing to do to get it? Or do I want a long life? How bad do I want it? Extremely bad. What am I doing or willing to do to get it? I am adjusting my lifestyle. I am doing my best to eat as best as I can. I am doing my best to exercise daily, to keep a positive mindset, to keep happy, joyful relationships, right? Like, to eliminate toxic energy as much as possible from my life, right? Like, that's it, right? Like, and everything I could still lose my life today, tomorrow, next week, right? It could still happen. And I'm very aware of that, very, very aware of that. And so, like, live fully. Living fully doesn't mean living recklessly, right? We get that confused. I'm living my life. You're living recklessly. You actually bring yourself closer to death. YOLO, you only live once. Exactly. So take the better care of yourself, right? Stop poisoning yourself. Stop poisoning your body. I watched my dear brother of mine a few days ago on his live, right? July 4th, cooking his food, right? Drinking the alcohol, and every sip that he took out of that bottle of whatever that brown bottle was that everybody's drinking now, right? That small brown bottle, like a Patron bottle, but it's brown. It's Don Julio, right? I'm watching him. Every sip of the Don Julio he took, he grimaced. It's nasty. It's nasty. I started an article. I need to finish this article a couple years ago. At what point did we all start liking alcohol? Because everybody know who drinks. The first drink you had, even if it was young, you can remember, it was disgusting, and you hated it, and it didn't feel good. And it still is nasty, and that's why we chase it. And even when we chase it, it was a grimace. It's not good, man. Like, but I watched him drink it, and every drink he took, and then he took a sip of the beer, and like he did the same thing with the beer. It was like, but he kept drinking it, and he's eating terrible food. We got to give ourselves a better chance, guys. Like, we have to. Black folks, please, we have to. There's a lot of things stacked against us. We got to give ourselves a better chance. And those of us who are on the path of living a healed life, of giving ourselves the best chance to live a long life, long and prosperous life, we got to find more creative ways to educate, to empower our brothers and sisters that they could have long life, man, and they could be healthy. They could have a life without sickness. They can have a life without sickness, right? Like, there's people who every other week, every couple of weeks, they're sick, stomach aches and bad headaches and all type of things is bothering them. And obviously there's people who live with chronic illness, right? Chronic illness. The brother a few weeks ago, he told me he took freaking 20 pills a day damn near. That's a lie. He's in your 40s, taking 20 pills a day like that. Because you got to take this pill for that, 3 of these pills for that, this pill for that side effect. Come on, make the change. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's possible. How bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, Make the commitment and know that there are people here to help you. There are people here to walk with you. There are people here to guide you. There are people here to go through the journey of healing with you. You just got to be open to it, open-minded, open-hearted, and open your freaking spirit and let love in, let healing in. Let healing in. Like, your body wants to live a long time. Your body wants to be here. So give it the best chance possible. Life is fragile, guys. Life is extremely fragile. It is extremely beautiful when we live fully, when we love wholly. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am extremely, extremely, extremely grateful for you. I'm extremely grateful. I believe in us. I believe in our potential. I believe in what's possible for us. Right. And I just want to do a short meditation before we get out of here. We're going to burn some Palo Santo. And on this Sunday, right, as you sit comfortably, allowing your feet to plant firmly on the floor beneath you. If you are sitting, if you are laying, finding a comfortable position. Allowing your arms to rest at a comfortable spot in your lap, by your side, whichever is most comfortable for you. Allowing your head to lean forward so that your chin is in your chest. Allowing your eyes to close ever so softly. And simply becoming aware of your breath. The precious, precious, precious breath of life. The breath that is life. Simply becoming aware of it in your body. On your inhale, how you pull the breath in. And how it moves from your abdomen up through your chest into your brain. Simply becoming aware of that breath. And in that awareness, silently just saying thank you. Acknowledging how precious the breath is. Acknowledging how rare this breath is. There are people who are struggling to breathe right now in this moment. There are people whose last breath was the last breath. So just simply saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for life. Thank you for this life. Thank you for my life. And I want you all who hear this message to affirm silently in your hearts, and in your minds, and in your spirits. I will give myself the best possible chance at a long and prosperous life. I will give myself the best possible chance at a long and prosperous life. I will give myself the best possible chance at a long and prosperous life. Affirm that daily. Affirm that daily. Know that you are loved. Know that you are cherished. Know that you are sacred and you are adored. You are stronger than you think. You are more powerful than you know. And you are greater than you could ever imagine. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. I love you. I love you. I love you. Ashe. You can open your eyes. Slowly wiggle your toes. Move your fingers. Give yourself a neck roll. Come back to the space. Have a beautiful Sunday. Have a beautiful week. Peace and good morning, Chrissy. Peace and good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful day. Please love yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Please, please, please give yourself the best possible chance. Our young people, our brothers and sisters, our nephews and nieces, our children are dying from preventable illnesses. Let us give ourselves the best possible chance and be the best examples as possible. I love you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.